Every day we encounter many people without saying a word to them. Imagine being able to share the gift of joy with them, to bring a smile to their face or give them a spark of inspiration. Without saying a word, you can positively impact their life by simply wearing a humanity. Humanity also offers a unique approach to engage friends in enlightened conversation, all while exhibiting classic style. These shirts have been pre-shrunk to maintain their shape and pigment after washing. You will find this shirt is neither too light nor too heavy for your usual daily activities. Whether you're into casual lounging, active layering, or just want the softest t-shirt against your skin, you'll be pleasantly surprised by this traditional tee. To view our diverse product line, visit our website and click on the Humanity tab. Humanity, the very best in inspirational apparel.
Not cutting, but untying. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought was holding you is an illusion. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Momentum. It's so good to be back on and to see all of you. I'm telling you, I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in quite some time. I am so glad that you are able to join me tonight and that we're able to get together for this conscious conversation. You've just tuned into the most powerful place on the planet. It is the Emerge movement, where we are empowering people on their journey to spiritual wholeness. We're helping you to create and to curate all of the things that are necessary for you to experience the abundant life and to be the highest version of yourself. And I'm so glad that you've chosen to join us in this time of conscious conversation together. And I am looking forward to being able to share with you on tonight. Now, listen, as I always do at the very top of the broadcast, I ask you to please take a moment, take about 30 seconds and just share the broadcast with every single person that you can. Put it on your page and on any of the groups page that you might be a part of, but share this broadcast. And while you're sharing it, if you should happen to think of any people that you think would benefit from being a part of the conversation, then go ahead and tag them in the comments right now. Tag them. Let's expand and build upon this platform and reach as many people around the globe as we possibly can. Please do that for me, if you will. Every one of you that's on right now, if you'll hit the share button and you'll tag at least 3 to 4 people, then we'll build an audience even larger and we'll be able to have a bigger impact as we minister on tonight. Now, I know that you noticed the different background, the different setting that I'm in. As I told you, many of you are aware of the fact that I'm kind of going through a little bit of a transition. And so I had to kind of move the studio around a little bit. Everything's not quite in place like it ought to be just yet, but it will be very soon. So bear with me, and I am broadcasting to you live tonight from the Antioch Life Enrichment Center here in the city of Fitzgerald, Georgia. And so as you can see, I'm inside of the sanctuary, and we are going to have our conversation here tonight. But we are looking forward to getting into something that's going to be really impactful and powerful. Listen, as always, if you want to be sure that you are always notified when we are going to be on the air, just notice the information that's scrolling at the bottom of your screen. just text the word emerge to 833-444-0163, and you will automatically be signed up for our free text notification. It is absolutely free, doesn't cost you a dime. All it takes is just a little short amount of time for you to text the word emerge to the number that's scrolling at the bottom of your screen, 833-444-0163. And you'll automatically be enrolled. We'd like to also encourage you to go over and visit our website. Take a moment and visit us at www.aimministriesinternational.org. And there you will find more information and insight about the entire Emerge movement. You'll also have the access to our online store, our books, as well as inspirational apparel and other things that you will find there. We encourage you to go over and check it out. And likewise, if you at any time should think that you'd really like to become a part of the Emerge movement, and I am so excited and happy every time we get new partners and new people that are coming in and connecting with this movement. We are a movement that is growing and that will eventually spread around the globe. I believe it. I see it. It is my vision, and I am pursuing it and going after it with my entire being. If you should decide that you'd like to become a part of the Emerge movement, all you have to do is just shoot me an email to the email address that's on your screen right now. And when you send that email, just include 3 simple words: I want in. That's all it takes. And when you send me that, I'll send you out an information packet that gives you a more in-depth and detailed explanation about what the Emerge movement is about, as well as a continuous partnership agreement. And all you have to do after reading over all of the information is sign the partnership agreement and email it back to me, and that's it. You are in. And we would love to have you as a part of this Emerge movement. Now, likewise, also, as I've already said, that those of you who already know, I have written a new book. It is called Words to Live By, and you are able to order your copy. Many of you have already pre-ordered your copy, and we sent out a shipment of them this week. Some of you should have gotten it this week. Maybe you've already gotten it, and if you have, I'm going to ask those of you, as you receive your copy of the book, do me a huge favor and take a selfie holding up the book and just make a little blog or a post about it and tag me in it. Take a picture of yourself holding up the book, do a little post, a blog about it on your page, and tag me in it. I would greatly appreciate it. Those of you who've gotten it, if you have not gotten your book yet, it is on the way. I can assure you it is on the way. I'm so excited about this book and about getting it into your hands. If you have not gotten your copy already, then the information's on your screen right now, how you can order your copy today. It says pre-order, but it is about ordering your copy today. All you have to do is take advantage of the information that's on your screen, or you can go to the website, www.aimministriesinternational.org, and go to our online bookstore, and you're able to order the paperback, or you can download the ebook right there on our website. Or if you'd like to just purchase it in this manner by using the information that's on your screen, I would greatly appreciate your support. I thank you for all of you that have already ordered your copy, and others who have ordered more than one copy. You are just absolutely wonderful. Thank you for being so kind and being so supportive of the work that we are doing. All right. So are we ready to get into this conversation tonight? Tonight, I want to talk to you about how you are working with your 6 interior senses. Most of us are very aware of our 5 senses, exterior senses of sight and taste and smell and so on. Those are our 5 exterior senses, but you have 6, which is the number of man, 6 interior senses that you are may not be completely and consciously aware of, but when you become aware of them, you can become deliberate and intentional about working with those senses, using them for your advantage, so that you are able to begin to, again, effectively create the kind of life that you want, and so that you can take advantage of all of the different moments, events, and occurrences that are taking place in your life. I want to, by way of beginning this conversation tonight, before I even get into naming the sixth thing, interior senses, I want to draw your mind to the idea that each one of us are experiencing different life events every single day. Every day and at every moment and every second, we are having different experiences. And as I've said before, we are creating in the moment our next moment that we will step into or lean into. But ladies and gentlemen, what I want to encourage those of you who are watching me tonight is to be very present in every single moment. You see, our life is by design. That we are having a God experience in this three-dimensional plane that we call Earth, and we are expressing and experiencing our divinity as humans. And that is not by accident nor coincidence. Nothing just happens. We are not victims of circumstance. We are not just going through the motions or having experiences arbitrarily, but whatever takes place in our life, or whatever event or whatever experience that we are having, it is laced with lessons that are designed to help us to evolve and to cause the giftings, talents, and abilities within us to begin to emerge. Even those things and those gifts, talents, abilities that we may not even be aware of, that we have curated in our pre-incarnate state every moment and experience in our life. And so we should be very mindful of the moments that we enter, and that we are paying attention not only to the events, the circumstances, and the situations, but also to the people that come in and out of our life. Now, we already talked a little bit about different relationship types. We talked about those who are soul mates and the different types of soul mates. We talked about twin flames and other types of relationships. But what I want you to understand is that those persons that enter your life, enter it with reasons. You're not just accidentally, coincidentally running into people or having encounters. Every one of them have been carefully curated with you in your pre-incarnate state, along with God and the universe, and they are strategically designed to aid you on your journey and your discovery, and to aid you in fulfilling the original intent for which you were released into this earth. What happens in many cases is that we can get tunnel vision and become very routine or task oriented, and we miss these opportunities and these moments that occur in and around our life, because we are so tuned in to a particular task, or we are zoned out by the bombardment of things that are coming at us from every different direction. And so we find ourselves distracted or misaligned and attuned to only one singular thing. But ladies and gentlemen, just as you are and your divine being are multifaceted, multi-layered, that you have multiple dimensions within you, then every experience and encounter that you have is likewise multifaceted and multi-layered. That there are different meanings and purposes that are interwoven in every single encounter, situation, and circumstance. Listen to me very carefully. No situation, circumstance, or relationship has a singular purpose. Let me say that again. My goodness. No situation, circumstance, or relationship has a singular purpose, but every one of them are layered and have multiple purposes, reasons, as well as opportunities and options that are available to you if you are consciously aware of them and can discern them when they come. Romans chapter 12 begins by saying, my heart's desire and prayer for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bet, that's Romans chapter 10, I'm sorry. That for I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. And I have often said that it is a frightful and dysfunctional thing to have a zeal and excitement and exuberance, but don't have the knowledge, insight, or understanding to match that exuberance, and vice versa. Multi-layered, that it is just equally disturbing and dysfunctional for you to have the intellectual understanding of the thing, but have no excitement or exuberance or zeal for it. There must be both passion as well as intelligence. There must be passion and intelligence, understanding and zeal. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? And so in the Romans 12 piece, he says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present the entirety of your being, your body, a living sacrifice, holy, Holy, and Whollly, and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, this system, this societal system that tries to influence and direct and dictate your life, but be transformed, listen, by the renewing of your mind. And we've covered that extensively, but I want you to get this last part of the verse, because what is the reason for all of this other? The presenting your body. What is the reason for being transformed by the renewing of your mind? What is the reason for working to reconstruct and reconfigure your mind so that you can be renewed? What is the reason behind all of it? It concludes by saying, here is the purpose and the reason. That you may prove. The word prove there literally in the Greek literally translate to be able to discern or to delineate or to be able to distinguish what is the good acceptable, and perfect will of God. That the reason behind your being transformed, the reason for renewing your mind is so that you are able to accurately and precisely discern and distinguish the moments that occur in your life, that you are able to discern the plan, the purpose, and the will of God in every experience, in every encounter, and in every circumstance, that you are able to accurately and clearly discern and distinguish, to delineate between one thing and another, so that you are able to determine, is this the purpose? What is the purpose, the reason? What is the intent behind this encounter? It's saying to us, it infers then that without having our mind renewed, then we are unable to accurately discern the moments. And we can find ourselves misjudging a situation, misjudging a relationship, misjudging a circumstance or an encounter, and determining it to be one thing when in fact it is something completely different. And more importantly, it's not one thing at all, but it's multiple things. Woo! Are y'all following me? Are you following me? That you will begin, if you have not put in the work, if you are not consistently, actively working to reconstruct and reconfigure your conscious mind, then you will always misinterpret, oh my goodness, yes, misinterpret the moment, the situation, the circumstance, and you will do so not objectively, but subjectively. When you begin to discern or determine, make a determination or a judgment about a situation or circumstance or encounter subjectively, it means that you are discerning it through the filter of that old doctrine, of that old trauma, those old interpretations and misinterpretations, that old information is filtering your thoughts and therefore informing your perception and causing you to misdiagnose a particular situation, occurrence, event, or circumstance, or even an environment, because you are viewing it purely subjectively. Yes, you are viewing it through the lens of your trauma, the lens of your hurt, the lens of your disappointment, the lens of your insecurities, the lens of your lack of self-worth, the lens of your religion, the lens of your culture. And so you are unable to fully and accurately and properly discern the purpose and the intent behind the moment, and it narrows your view where you only see it through those particular lens, and therefore instead of getting what you have curated in your pre-incarnate state and designed this moment to bring you, you now pollute the moment and you get something from it that was never intended to come out of it. You miss the moment. You misread and misjudge and misunderstand the encounter. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And instead of using your interior sense, you use your exterior sense, and then begin to throw up walls and defenses. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying, and become paranoid to the place where you think people are out to get you, or somebody's trying to hurt you, or someone's trying to take advantage of you, or someone is doing you wrong. Y'all not hearing me when I'm talking to you tonight, that you find yourself looking through the eyes of paranoia and fear, and you throw up these walls because you have misdiagnosed the moment. You become defensive. And so the slightest thing that you interpret as a slight, as a sarcasm, as flippant, or whatever the thing, however you might define it, you get offended, and that offense then now puts up offense. Offense puts up the fence, and you block out what has been predetermined to serve you, because now you have decided it's an enemy instead of a servant. Oh my goodness. Woo! Are you hearing what I'm saying? And that's dysfunctional. It's dysfunctional. You see, we have the misconception that whatever is for us and whatever is a part of our destiny is going to be cake and ice cream, strawberries and gravy train with biscuit wheels. We don't think that it comes with challenges, but there are some encounters and some relationships and some situations and circumstances that are designed simply to challenge you, to push your buttons, to push your limits, to stretch you and force you to now step into and explore areas of possibility that you would not have voluntarily stepped into on your own, and that you have maybe been too fearful or too religious or too damaged or too broken to even consider. Oh God, I'm preaching better than y'all saying amen to me tonight. I'm telling you that they are designed sometimes to be antithetical to that which you have become comfortable and familiar with, to push the buttons that others who are still feeding your ego, God, would never push. But this relationship, this encounter, this situation, this event is putting a demand on a part of you that you may not even be consciously aware of, or you have been too afraid to even open that door. I can't get nobody to holler back at me because you are wanting to bask only in the light of your divinity, not understanding that the darkness or the shadow facilitates the light. And so the shadow is not evil, it's not ungodly, it's not against you, it is just another aspect of you to be explored so that you can walk into the fullness of your divinity. Are you understanding me? It's the reason that the scripture says in Isaiah, I am the Lord. This is God speaking. I am the Lord, and beside me there is no other. I created the good, and I created evil. Oh, God, it's the reason that there is the tree of duality that's sitting in the garden, the knowledge of good and evil, so that you are able to now understand and ascertain that it's not just the light of my divinity that I must embrace, but the shadows that come along and facilitate the light. All of them are designed to serve me, and sometimes times, events and circumstances and encounters and relationships are designed to cut into, God, yes, to release that part of you, to open doors and portals within you that you've tried to hold shut because you didn't want to even admit that they were there. Oh, God have mercy. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because you've been taught through religion and culture that there was something wrong with that part of you when there is absolutely nothing wrong with you except for how you view yourself. Did you hear what I said? There is absolutely nothing wrong with you except for how you have been taught to view yourself. And so now you have escaped, misappropriated, wasted moments, circumstances, situations, events, relationships that are designed to enlighten you, to evolve you, to stretch you, because they were either uncomfortable or because you were blinded to them. Because you relied upon your exterior senses. You relied upon your exterior senses rather than learning how to work with your interior senses. These are the senses of the soul. Woo! Let me say that again. These interior senses are the senses of the soul. You should write that down if you're taking notes. If you're not taking notes, you ought to be. These 6 interior senses are the senses of the soul. You came here with these senses innately within you. They are part of your spiritual DNA, loaded and coded into your being and designed for you to use as tools, powerful tools to help you to navigate this 3-dimensional existence so you can discern what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will. Not listen to that, listen to the text, listen to what it says, so you can discern, distinguish, prove what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will. Not what's good, what's acceptable, and what's perfect, but discern what is good, acceptable, what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will. Those 3 words are adjectives to describe the will. Yeah. They are not describing the thing. They are not describing the circumstance. They are not describing the person or the encounter. They are describing the will. It is saying that you need to be able to distinguish and determine what is the good will of God, what is the acceptable will of God, what is the perfect will of God. Perfect meaning complete, the totality. What is the total will of God? In every circumstance. Not what is the partial will of God. What is the part, smidgen, or what is this particular will? But what is the totality of the will? What is the reason for this moment? What is the reason for this encounter? What is the reason that I'm in the place that I am, the job that I'm working, the school I attend, the house that I'm living, the neighborhood I'm in, the city, the state that I'm in, the place that I've been born, the neighborhood I come from, the color I am, the gender I have expressed? What is the reason that this one and that one and the other is a part of my life. Why have they entered at this moment? And wait a minute, hold on. And why have I entered their life at this moment? Because, see, it is never one-sided, it is both sides. People come to serve a purpose in your life, but you are also designed to serve a purpose in their life. Can you discern what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God in these moments? And I'm telling you, the key to doing so is learning how to work with your interior senses. Are y'all with me? Woo, I'm running out of time real quick, so I gotta move. Okay? I gotta move. Yes, I gotta move. All right. I'm going to list them for you, and then I'll go back and go through them in a little more detail and explanation. But let me just list them so for those of you who are taking notes, you can write them down. There are 6 interior senses. They are your will, your imagination, your perception, your reasoning, your intuition. We've talked about that before. Your intuition, and finally, your memory. Okay, let me go through them again, make sure that everybody has each one. Your will, your imagination, your perception, your reasoning, your intuition, and your memory. If you need me to repeat any of them, put it in the comments right now before I get into the explanation. Those are the 6 interior senses that you have within you, loaded and coded within your soul. They are the sense of the soul. The senses of the soul. Does anyone need me to repeat the 6 before I go into an explanation of each? And it's going to be a very brief explanation because I'm going to try and stay within the time limit that we have designed. All right, I don't see anyone putting anything in the comments, so here we go. Number 1, the first sense that I want you to understand about is your will. Every one of us is given a will. Your will is what informs your choice. We don't have free will, but we do have free choice. Let me say that again. We don't have free will, but we do have free choice. And our will informs our choice. Your will is a determination to make a particular choice or decision about a particular thing. Let me explain the difference very quickly, because the reason I say we don't have free will, because our will is given to us by the divine. Our will is constructed by the source, which is God. But that will is only designed to inform our choice. The will is not the product of our own making. It is the product of the divine that is within us. Paul said to will is present with me. That will is always present with me. But then he makes a distinction. He says, but how to perform that which is good? In other words, how do I make the right choices, choices that align with my innate will? The will is always present, but my choices don't always line up with that innate will. Sometimes I allow my choices to be informed by my experiences or my traumas or my surroundings, environment, or culture. But I really want to make my choices, let them be informed by the innate presence of the will, which is the will of God. Remember, we want to be able to discern what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. That will is innately in us. It is a part of our divinity. We always know exactly what we're supposed to do. The knowing is there. We have to become consciously aware of the knowing and be able to discern between our other carnal, dysfunctional thoughts and the knowing that is innate within us. That is the will of God. Are you hearing me? Okay? And so when we tap into the will and allow the will, which is the product of God, to inform our decisions and our choices, then we always head in the way that best serves us. And so he says, lean not to your own carnalistic way of understanding or thinking, but in all your ways acknowledge the will of God that is within you, that your divine self, and it will direct your path. Jesus spoke of it as the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, who would lead and guide you into all truth. How do we distinguish and discern the will or the voice of the Spirit that is speaking within, and allow that to inform our decisions and our choices? The Spirit or the will is there to guide, it is there to direct, but it does not force. We don't have free will. It is designed and orchestrated by the divine, but we do have free choice whether we choose to say yes and surrender to the will that is within us, that is present with us, or whether we decide to choose something differently. Will. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Yes? Number 2, imagination. And I'm almost out of time, so y'all got to really listen fast and go with me. Imagination. Imagination is what creates vision. Vision is birthed from imagination, and imagination is birthed or generated by the most dominant thoughts that we hold within our consciousness. Let me say that again. Whatever is your most dominant thoughts is in your mind, in your consciousness, is what will generate imagination, and that will give birth to vision. It begins to give a portrait of what your expectations are. You begin to curate and create a reality and a truth for yourself because of what you have imaged or imagined within your mind. That imagination, that image, is created from the thoughts that we hold most dominant in our mind. Jesus is purported to have said it like this in Matthew 6, that the light of the body is the eye. It is the eye, yes. If thine eye be single, then your whole being will be filled with light. But if your eye be evil or paneros, dysfunctional, diseased, then the whole being is filled with darkness, katos, confusion, obscurity. But then he concludes by saying that if the light that is in you, the ability to know, to comprehend, and to discern, be darkened, that is obscured, it is a fate worse than natural blindness. What we have to do in making sure that our thoughts, our dominant thoughts, are creating the images that we desire, is to have our mind experience anakenosis. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed, metamorphosed by the anakenosis, the renewing of our mind. Why? Because when my mind is renewed with truth, with absolute truth, then it creates the image that aligns itself with that truth. That image becomes my vision, and that vision then begins to create my reality. With what vision are you discerning? Through what lens are you looking? Will, imagination, number 3. These are really important and in order, because the will and the imagination, will informs imagination, which informs perception. What your perception is, how you perceive a thing, is absolutely dependent upon your imagination, your imaging or imagining or vision of the thing. If your vision is obscured, then it causes your perception to be misaligned. And so you begin to discern wrongly, misjudge, mistake a particular situation, circumstance, encounter, or relationship, because you are working with the exterior, allowing it to inform your interior, which is your perception. You are allowing it to be informed by a trauma rather than it being informed by the spirit that created the will. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And when how you perceive a thing determines how you experience it. Oh, Lord, you need to write that one down right there. Let me say that again. How you perceive a thing will determine how you experience it. You experience exactly what you perceive. Oh God, if you have a negative perception of it, your experience is going to be negative. If you have a harmful, broken, dysfunctional perception of a thing, your experience will be exactly as you have perceived it. But your experience can become something different if you shift your perception. Wayne Dyer says it like this: when you change your perception of a thing, then the thing you perceive will change. Whoa. Isaiah says it like this: they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. But then he says they mount up. they get a higher perspective and perception of a thing. They mount up with wings as an eagle. They look at it from a higher vibrational and a higher conscious state so that their perception is informed by a vision that's been informed by the perfect will of God. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Yes. When you elevate your view, your perspective, your perception, you are able to view from that higher conscious state, and you then change your experience. Your experience will be exactly as you perceive it to be. Are you hearing me? That was number 3. Number 4, reasoning. Your perception informs your reasoning. I've tucked these in the order that because that's the way you have to think about this. Will informs imagination. Imagination informs perception. Perception informs your reasoning. Woo! Your discerning, your intellect, how you determine what is true is based upon how you perceive it. Whatever your perception of it is what you will determine it to be as far as your truth. 2 people can have the same encounter, come into the same circumstance and the same situation, and have 2 totally different experiences because one perceives it one way and has established a truth for themselves, and another has perceived it a different way and established an entirely different truth for them. And so what is true for one may not be true for the other because both of them are coming from a varied perception. But when you allow the complete, perfect, good, and acceptable will of God to inform your imagination, your vision, allowing that then to inform your perception, then you are able to make a determination, intellectual, intelligent determination that aligns itself with a clear perception. But when your perception is off, your reasoning is off. And so you start to come up with your own truth. And even in the light of infallible proof of something that is completely different, you will still say, well, I don't get it. I don't understand. This is just what I think. This is just what I believe. And that belief has become your truth. But was it birth from the good, acceptable, and the perfect? Or was it birth from the broken? Reasoning, you're discerning, determining what is your truth. Truth is relative to you. Let me say it again. Truth is relative to you. You have the capacity to intelligently distinguish one thing from the other and determine what it will be for you. Are you hearing me? Let me go to number 5. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on 5 because we've done an extensive conversation around intuition. But I do want you to understand this. Your intuition is your gut feeling. It's that inner knowing that your soul has already received the transmission from your spirit, and it absolutely knows. As a matter of fact, and I've said this several times, your soul knows what your mind has yet to comprehend. Your soul knows what you haven't even begun to learn or figure out how to articulate with words. that the highest form of communication is feeling or intuition or instinct. That inner knowing or instinct is innate within your soul, and it absolutely knows. And so you should always, 100% of the time, listen to your gut instinct, because it is designed to serve you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's 100% correct for you. Trust your instinct and your intuition. Your mind believes what it has been told, but your soul knows what truly is. Let me say that again. Your mind believes what it has been told, but your soul knows what truly is. Always check your mind against your soul. Let me say it. Woo! Always check your mind against your soul, your heart, your passion, your intuition, your instinct. No matter, and if it aligns itself with your instinct, no matter what your mind is saying, go with your instinct. And if it does not align itself with your instinct or your intuition, no matter what your mind is saying, go with your intuition. If your gut says no while your mind says yes, listen to your gut. If your gut says yes while your mind is giving you 150 million reasons why you shouldn't, listen to your gut. Listen to your instinct. Listen to those feelings that are emerging within you. Listen to those desires that have been birthed out of that feeling. Woo! I know that is just the opposite of what religion has been teaching us for years. Don't trust your feelings. Don't trust that. No. You listen to the man of God. You listen to that Bible. Listen to the book. Listen to the divine within you that is now being interpreted and discerned by your inner soul, and that knowing is radiating through your being, and it will, listen to this, watch this, it will manifest itself as either peace or anxiety. Fear. It's either peace or fear. If you are feeling anxious, anxiety, and fear, instead of the peace of God, the peace that overwhelms you about it, you feel at ease, you feel at peace. I'm not talking about nervousness. You feel nervous, that's a natural thing. But you going ahead with the knowing that this is what I should be doing. I'm nervous, but I know that it's going to be all right. I just know that this is the right choice, the right decision, the right thing. Listen to that. Don't drown out the voice of your intuition. And finally, memory. Memory is the remembering, reconstructing, recalling, reconfiguring, reconstructing of what you already know. You came into this three-dimensional existence fully knowing everything. You are omniscient, an omniscient being, but you are not always consciously aware of what you know. But that knowing is there, and what memory does is grab that information that's broken down into the different areas and dimensions and parts and portals and mansions of your being and reconstructs your knowing, reconfigures, recalls, remembers those things that you have consciously forgotten. The Holy Spirit brings all things back to remember, reconstruct, remind, and recall. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? Okay? The Holy Spirit within you, which is the perfect will, is there to remember, help you to remember, recall, and reconstruct what you innately know. Right now, it lays in pieces in different parts of your being, in different parts or compartments or mansions, if you will, in the Father's house. There are many compartments, mansions, or dwelling places. Those pieces are there, and memory summons all of the parts of the whole and brings them back together so that you can have a clarity of understanding about what it is that you are stepping into. And so, ladies and gentlemen, so the perfect, good, acceptable, and the perfect will informs our imagination, the image and visioning, which informs our perception, and that perception then informs our reasoning or determinations, our judgment, which also now is run through the filter of our intuition and our instinct, and then our memory is activated in order to reconstruct, recall, and reconfigure the information necessary for me to fully understand the moment that I'm in, the encounter, the situation, the circumstance, or the relationship, so that I'm able to see the multiple layers of it and get everything from it that it was designed to bring me. Woo! I know that's a lot to cram into one lesson, but I wanted to make sure that I got through it all, and I know I went over time. If you have any questions at all, please put it in the comments right now. Put it in the comments right now as I go through these 6 interior senses again very quickly as I wait for you to comment or ask questions. The will, which is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God, the Spirit, the divine, has constructed. It informs, when we allow it to inform our imagination or our vision, it will then inform our perception, and our perception will determine how we experience the thing, and it will inform our reasoning, our deduction, our intellect, and discerning or distinguishing of the thing. We then run all of that information through the filter of our intuition, our innate knowing or instinct, and that releases the information to be remembered, recalled, reconstructed, reconfigured, so that we have a clarity of understanding in all thy getting understanding. Yes, you may get a copy of the notes. I see that in the comments. Yes, you may. I'm more than happy to send out copies of the notes. Anybody else who'd like to get a copy of the notes, you can inbox me or you can email me or put it in the comments, and I will send you the notes on tonight's teaching so that you can have it to look over, peruse over. I am more than happy to share that with you. Any other questions, comments? Okay? Well, if there are none, then I want to encourage you again, please, if you have not already, order your copy of my book today. Go ahead and go to the website, or you can order it directly with me by using any of those means that you see on your screen, Words to Live By. And there are a series of other books that are coming right behind this one. Hopefully we'll have another one out before the end of this month. That's right, I'm in a writing frenzy. So y'all just get ready, because I'm gonna start hitting you with a bunch of books. This is just a curation of different sayings, inspirational quotes and motivational quotes that I have put out over the years. But the other books that are gonna getting ready to come out soon are more informative and in depth. And so you're gonna be blessed by those as well. Go ahead and order your copy today. Those of you who are partners, I want to encourage you to give, as well as any other person, if you'd like to give and sow into this ministry. And I pray that every one of you will. Please take advantage of any of those means that are on the screen. You can give by way of Cashapp, Zelle, or PayPal. And please understand, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this, because someone made this mistake. The free text notification number is not my phone number. So you cannot use that with Cashapp. You have to use the Cashapp name that you see on your screen. That number is a computer program generated number. And so whatever you do with that number goes into that program. It has not connected to anything. You can't call me on it. You can't text me on it. You can't do anything. I know that some have tried to text me using that number. You cannot text me with that number. It is just a computer generated number to activate you getting the free notifications. You have to use, if for your giving, one of those avenues that are on your screen, either Cashapp, Zelle, or PayPal. And if you want to contact me directly, you don't have my number, then you need to email me at the email address that was on your screen earlier. Okay? But I'm encouraging those of you to give who love and support and have been blessed by this ministry, by this teaching. Please, please sow your most generous gift and do it right now. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me for Momentum. We'll have the studio up and going real soon. I'll be back in the studio real soon. I know the lighting's kind of dark and it's a different setting. You only see like right under my chin, so you don't really see the other parts of me. But we'll have the studio up and going real soon. All right, we look forward to seeing you real soon. I will be ministering here at the Antioch Church on Sunday morning, and I will go live with that. It'll be on all of our channels, so you can tune in at 10 a.m., and then we'll be back for our Sunday night empowerment at 7 p.m. Until then, I hope you have an absolutely magnificent night, and tomorrow is the best day ever. Good night.
Every day we encounter many people without saying a word to them. Imagine being able to share the gift of joy with them, to bring a smile to their face or give them a spark of inspiration. Without saying a word, you can positively impact their life by simply wearing a humanity. Humanity also offers a unique approach to engage friends in enlightened conversation, all while exhibiting classic style. These shirts have been pre-shrunk to maintain their shape and pigment after washing. You will find this shirt is neither too light nor too heavy for your usual daily activities. Whether you're into casual lounging, active layering, or just want the softest t-shirt against your skin, you'll be pleasantly surprised by this traditional tee. To view our diverse product line, visit our website and click on the Humanity tab. Humanity, the very best in inspirational apparel.
Thank you for tuning in. And be sure to catch us every Sunday at 7 p.m. for empowerment.
That we are a unique expression
every Thursday at 7 p.m. for Momentum.
The creation of God and the God who created him.
Once again, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. And we'll see you next time.